Hare Krishna. A few weeks ago, Vaninatha Vasu prabhu, a devotee from America, Indian origin, was making a very nice presentation on the 4 simple steps to re-establish Varnasrama Dharma. It was a Zoom presentation, and I was there, and I will share some of the main points that he mentioned in that presentation. I'm going to share my screen. So it was on May 7, 2025. He started by explaining that the first step is to know our Varna first. And Srila Prabhupada explained in a conversation with Hidayanda Maharaj. So the first of all is Varna, and then Ashram. When the Varna is perfectly in order, then Ashram. When the Varna is working perfectly, then we give them Ashrama, Varnasrama. So Srila Prabhupada was putting the importance first to develop Varna. And he said the whole society must be divided into 4 Varna. This was in 1974. And this not SAV means speaking about Varnasrama Dharma with a compilation done by Krishna Devidasi and a team in 1999, means more than 25 years ago. And in that book, there are a lot of information about what Srila Prabhupada said on these topics of Varnasrama Dharma. So the first point to establish Varnasrama Dharma is first to know the Varna. And the second step is to know what is the meaning of Varna. So, of course, we have the famous verse in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is speaking, chapter 4, text 13. Chaturvanya maya sristam guna karma vibhagajaha tasya kartaram api mam vidya kartaram avyayam. And the translation of these very important verses is Krishna speaking, according to the 3 modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the 4 divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. Srila Prabhupada explained also many times, but in that class in 1973 in London, he said that Harisasana means to satisfy the Supreme Lord Hari. So, according to Vedic civilization, there must be a division of Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and every activity must be done according to the Varnasrama prescription. We have the qualification in Bhagavad Gita about what is a Brahmana, is acting with that quality, Satya, Samudama, Satikva, Arjavan. Same way, a Kshatriya are also some specific qualities, a Vaishya have also specific qualities. So, the main thing is everybody must act according to his prescribed duties, who are already there in the living entity. We just need to develop them, to reconnect with them. So the third step is we need to analyze the Dharma. Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse 10, every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. So actually we can think, ourselves as a devotee, or trying to become a devotee, trying to understand Srila Prabhupada books, trying to understand Varnasrama Dharma. What do we need to start? Mm-hmm. And we have, of course, the very important verse in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, that Krishna is explaining that the supreme science is received through the chain of this succession. And saintly kings understood it in that way. And Srila Prabhupada explained in that purport in text in chapter called that it clearly stated that the Gita was specially meant for the saintly kings, Kshatriya, because they were to execute its purpose in ruling over the citizens. We have also in Srimad Bhagavatam a very great example of real Kshatriya or false Kshatriya. For Kshatriya, we see King Vena, who was not fulfilling his duty to protect the living entities. Therefore, the Brahmana wanted to have another person, real Kshatriya, and Maharaj Prithu was enthroned. So this is a very great example. Sometimes real Kshatriya is needed in order to guide society. If we have a false Kshatriya or not qualified Kshatriya, society is a lot of problem, chaos. And we ask the question now, but where are the Kshatriya? So the last step in establishing Varnasrama Dharma is to train Kshatriya. And Srila Prabhupada explained that at least in America, it's very important to create these two classes, Brahmana and Kshatriya. And if we have these two classes, the world will be saved. And everybody will be saved. And Krishna will be pleased. So, at the present moment, Srila Prabhupada, we need to have Brahmana class and Kshatriya class. And by training, one become a Vaishya, one can become a Kshatriya, one can become a Brahmana. But if we don't have any Brahmana or Kshatriya, this is a difficulty of our modern world. It is a chaos. And to save this human civilization, these two classes are required very urgently. And Srila Prabhupada, was making the point, in 1977, in February in Mayapur, means quite a few months before his departure, that real Kshatriya is in front line. They are not spending money just for military strength like that, like we see in the modern world, So much money goes for the military now. But Srila Prabhupada said, Paritranaya sadhuna vinachaya chaduskritam. Krishna is coming to deliver the powers and to annihilate the miscreants. So people are like demons. Why so much money should be spent for military? They are not Kshatriyas, they are demons. So we see it's not why people are in charge of the country, in charge of the power. It's not, doesn't mean that they are Kshatriya. So now, the real question inside the devotee is not how to reestablish Varnasrama, who will reestablish Varnasrama. And in the opinion of Vaninatha Vasu prabhu, it is clear, it is very clear for him from Shastra and from Srila Prabhupada that it is a Kshatriya who are going to reestablish Varnasrama. And he concludes his presentation by presenting that he's very active in America. He's around 70 years old, Has been temple president for different temples, like Lachua Temple and other ISKCON temple in America. He's very active in introducing international school for Kshatriya training. And of course, he's very active in promoting the books speaking about Varnasrama. And actually, he ends his presentation by a little bonus, like Varnasrama demons, by citing purport in Srila Prabhupada, where it is said, if one hears the characteristic of Prithu Maharaj and is a Brahmana, he becomes perfectly qualified with Brahminical powers. If he is a Kshatriya, he becomes a king of the world. If he's a Vaishya, he becomes the master of other Vaishyas and many animals. And if he is a Shudra, he becomes the topmost devotee. Actually, that message in the Bhagavatam, it is a story of Prithu Maharaj, is very important because if we belong to one of these four Varna, and everybody belongs to one of the four Varna, sometimes it is mixed, of course, but there is always some preeminent qualifications. So we have a lot of benefit to hear the message, the story, the characteristic of Prithu Maharaj. This is extraordinary teaching. And of course, devotee who want to be in charge, in contact with Vaninatha Vasu Prabhu, they can connect with the website www.speakingaboutvarnasrama.com, and also a devotee can write to his personal email address, vaninat@speakingaboutvarnasrama.com. So I was, by listening to that presentation, what inspired me the most, it was a simple presentation and to show the importance of a kshatriya, real kshatriya, who can, by his talents, skills, qualification, he can organize the society in such a way that everybody can find his place, Varna, and then ashram. And if he wants to become a devotee of Krishna, can serve Krishna in a more appropriate way for himself to become more peaceful and also to become more efficient in his presentation of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.